Sprinters and athletes, you need to stop treating your warm up routine like it's just a warm up. A well thought out and well structured warm up routine can have some of the largest impacts on your athletic ability over a long period of time. And this is arguably one of the most slept on areas of athletic development in general, because people just usually treat the warm up routine like you're just getting blood flow and that's the whole purpose of it. But in reality, it can teach you a lot of great things about your race and about your technique and about your efficiency within each movement, about your energy expenditure, and it can build purposeful areas that you want to improve on over a long period of time because of how often you do your warm-up routine. That's the biggest thing about the warm-up routine. You do it so often that that's the reason why you're going to see such big benefits, and why if you're doing things wrong and you're doing things inefficiently or you're building technique that isn't correct, then that's going to have negative impacts on you over a long period of time because you do them so often. So your warm-up routine that you do consistently is going to be one of the largest contributors to how you move on the track or on the field or whatever your sport is. It's going to play a huge role. And I'm not just talking about technique, but I'm talking about you can build better turnover, you can build better force production, or you can build a faster firing nervous system because your warm-up routine is done in the beginning, so you're fresh, right? You're using your most fresh energy to execute certain movements, and you're doing that more days a week than you're doing anything else. So at least you should be. You should be doing your warm-up routine very, very often. So with all that being said, and with the importance of the warm-up routine explained, I'm going to give you guys the best 5-step warm-up routine process that you guys should be doing. The exercise by exercise doesn't matter as much. I will be dropping a warm-up routine in the link of this bio, but it's more of the structuring that I'm about to give you that matters more than the exercise by exercise. So let me explain the 5-step process of a perfect structured warm-up routine. Number 1 of 5, I'm going to make this video quick, guys. Number 1 of 5 is actually just getting blood flow, getting ready. That's like leg swings, doing some stride outs, jogging a little bit, whatever you need to do to get blood flow. I like to do hurdles at this time, just like walking over the hurdles. You can do over-unders, do some skips over the hurdles. Number 2 of 5 is going to be your groundwork. This is going to be stretching out certain tight areas of your body, whatever you feel like you need to stretch out, and it's going to be doing different laying leg cycle drills, some fire hydrants, some leg lifts, things like that are going to be building muscles that you need for sprinting and for being an athlete over a long period of time because you're doing it consistently, and it's warming up those prime muscles that play a large role in how well you can execute. So we got getting blood flow, we got groundwork, and then number 3, we got technique work. All right, this is arguably one of the most important, and this is going to be all of your skips. Okay, so your A skip, your B skip, your dribble skips, your dribble B skips, all that kind of stuff that builds foundational technique that might seem very basic but is done at the highest level of sprinting and of highest level of athletes. They do that for a reason, all right? They do it because you fall to the level of your training. You fall to it. You don't rise to the level of what you think you're going to do in a meet. You fall to what you do consistently, all right? And if you're consistently training wrong in your warm-up routine, then you're going to fall to that. If you're consistently having perfect technique and using your body in the most efficient way possible, using the least amount of energy, then you're going to fall to that as well while you're sprinting. And that's what we want. So we need to make sure each exercise, each skip, we're doing it perfectly and we're executing it correctly. The next one, which is step number 4 of 5, we go from number 1, we go from blood flow to groundwork to technique work like skips. And then number 4, we go into compound pillar movements that not only get you warmed up with your pillar movements of sprinting, but also improve over time pillar movements of sprinting. And when I say pillar movements, I have 3 core pillars of sprinting that I believe, and that's force production, turnover rate, and speed endurance. And it's a little bit hard to train speed endurance in the warm-up, so that's not one that we're going to be targeting here. But for your force production and your turnover, those are 2 things that over time we can work on in the warm-up that actually get you your force production warmed up and your turnover rate warmed up, and over a long period of time can really build them and improve them based on how often you do them. So for the force production, I like to do skips for height and skips for distance. So we do these at max effort. We should be fully fresh because we're in the beginning stages of warming up. So skips for height should be max effort. These are going to be working your general power output, even though it's not horizontal power output as much, which, you are putting a little bit of horizontal force because you're skipping forward, but it's more vertical rather than horizontal. But it is good for general power output development and teaching your body the coordination in which to move your body more efficiently and better is going to be taught within these movements. All right, so that's skips for height, skips for distance. This is a little bit more sprint specific within the force production. They're going to be applying as much force in the ground horizontally as possible and just going for speed really here. 2 sets of both going about 30 yards-ish. And then for the turnover rate, it's probably my favorite exercise to do for athletes for their warm-up routine, because it's something that you can really see that they improve on over time within this movement, and you can just tell while you're doing this movement it's going to have a direct impact on your turnover rate while you're racing. All right, because you're just visualizing while you're doing this movement what it feels like to run at your top speed. So what we're doing here is we're eliminating force production. Force production is not an aspect of this, so we're not going for speed horizontally or vertically. We're just going for straight leg speed. So we're popping off the ground. This is called the 5-for-5 low knee and 5-for-5 high knee. So we're moving our legs as fast as we can within 5 yards, 5 seconds. We're not producing any force here. All right, we're just popping off the ground and we're moving the legs as fast as possible. With the 5-for-5 low knee, we have a slightly positive shin angle where we're putting the knee out in front of us a little bit. We're not going straight up and down with the knee. But the whole point of this movement is to move as fast as possible for 5 yards in 5 seconds. And there, you can do 2 sets of that, and then we're going to go 5-for-5 high knee. So with the 5-for-5 low knee, you get to move a little bit faster than the high knee, but it's a little bit less sprint specific. So it's more neuromuscular and it's more getting you ready and getting you used to, okay, I got to move my body as fast as I possibly can. A lot of people save that mental aspect for racing, which is not good, right? We got to mentally tell ourselves my body needs to move as fast as humanly possible right here, right now. And if we're only doing that during races, then we're not going to perform as well as you think. So that's what we're doing here in the 5-for-5, because we're eliminating all other variables that come into play of sprinting and just focusing on one aspect, and that's turning over your legs and having fast leg recovery. All right, so that's the 5-for-5 low knee, and then the high knee is going to be a little bit more sprint specific. You're going to be able to really visualize, stay loose, visualize what it feels like to be at top speed, only focusing on the turnover, moving as fast as you possibly can. It's also going to teach you how staying loose affects limb velocity. You're going to see right away that if you're tight and you're trying to muscle your way through the 5-for-5, you're going to be a lot slower. You're not going to get as many more steps as you would if you were staying extremely loose. So these are all things that you will just naturally learn over time, and why, again, it's important to do these things consistently, because your body learns what makes it the most efficient. All right, moving on to the last step of the warm-up, and that's just going to be build-ups or faster stride outs. So now we're getting ready to full speed sprint. So right after your warm-up, every single time, you should be ready to absolutely max effort sprint. So this is the last step of the whole process. We've gotten blood flow. We've gotten the little muscles warmed up on the ground. We've stretched out. We've done technique work, and we've warmed up our force production. We've warmed up our central nervous system and our turnover. We're extremely ready to go, but now we just need to sprint a little bit, build up into it, do whatever you need to do to get ready to sprint at full speed. So that's the last step of the warm-up. And guys, I promise you, if you structure your warm-up routine this way, from now on, you're going to sprint faster because you've warmed up properly. And long-term wise, this is probably the best video you could possibly watch, especially if you're treating your warm-up routine like you just got to get blood flow so you can do your warm-up. Like, no, it's so much deeper than that. It's so much more important to be super intentional with everything you're doing within your warm-up. And that's what the greats do. That's what all the pros do. And that's what you should do starting now. I hope this video was helpful. Click the link below if you want a warm-up routine like I just described. This is Isam's warm-up routine. If you don't know who Isam is Masinga, look him up. But this is the warm-up routine that he does all the time, and now you get it for free. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if this was helpful, and make sure to subscribe. Share it with your teammates, your boys trying to get faster, trying to get better, and go check out my Instagram as well, because that's where I prioritize like my content making. So if you want more content from me, a lot of it's on my Instagram. So go check that out. Thank you guys for watching.